You are seeing it, right?
Yes, sir. We are able to see it. Yes.
Okay. Namaste. Good afternoon to everyone there in India. And it's early morning here. It's 10 minutes before 5 a.m. Suprabhatam. Student friends, Miss Shanti Murmu, my fellow panelists today, dignitaries of Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, Professor Radhakrishnan Nair, Professor Balachandran, Ms. Sunita Ranjan, Dr. Gauri Hardikar, Professor Disha Bhatt, and other participants. It's indeed an honor. I don't mean to simply say as a flowery words, because it's indeed an honor to be part of this event this morning from here in the United States, because of two reasons. One, I am thrilled with what the Kalinga Institute has been doing from its beginning to serve tribal population. And then establishing connections with people who talk about the way to live. The society founded by Dr. Radhakrishnan Nair and his colleagues, Indian Association of Life Skill Education. See, this is important. So you have to have a balance in life growth, industrial growth, economic growth with a well-balanced life. So that is very important. This is the premise on which countries and civilizations were founded. So it is indeed an honor. And more importantly, I had known Ms. Shanti Murmu, and then I didn't do much research on her efforts, and having known that she's going to share the virtual podium with me, I'm impressed with the way from her humble beginnings, how she has been doing things with her Parivardan initiative and then climbed up to the higher echelons in the society, showing that one can do. When we were asked to present this afternoon, Ms. Shanti Ranjan asked, she wants to know what makes us to do things. And she was very specific, what makes us to be innovative. It's basically people and society. You watch people around you. You watch people like Ms. Murmu. You watch people like Her Excellency, the President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmuji. And these are all your role models. So it is the society that makes you. A man is not alone. A man is a society. He is part of the society. It takes a village to raise a family, which I go through, having a young son going in school. So it is to simply answer, I can finish this presentation with just one sentence. What makes you to live, or particularly specific to this program, what makes you to innovate? It is basically the people around you, or it is basically the environment in which you are in. So that is more important. If your environment is such that it motivates you, and in the environment you find some problems, you are here to solve. If you cannot solve, you bring people and then solve. So we all wish for the well-being. I'm very pleased to see Professor Balachandran invoke certain passages from Indic texts to Upanishads. So I'm going to also use it, because my other side is, apart from being a researcher and a professor in engineering materials, I have a passion to promote Indian cultural text, which Professor Radhakrishnan Nair knows. I have a passion to promote. So during weekends and the evening, I teach Vedas and classical literature to my son and others. And I also offer these lectures as part of my pastime and an outreach through many channels, and many of them are carrying my lectures in those texts. So we need to have a holistic way of living, not only focus on success in economic success or industrial growth, but a holistic personal development, which is what I guess these life skill educators do through great associations like Indian Association of Life Skill Education. So let's wish peace and safety. Dhruvante Raja Varuno, Dhruvan Devo Brigaspatihi, Dhruvan Taindrascha Agnischa Rashtram Dharayatam Dhruvam. The last sentence is very important. Of course, I'm very pleased that the students are from Odisha, so they can quickly understand the basic meaning of these Sanskrit verses. Dhruvanta Indraschagnishtha Rashtram Dharayam. Let the world, here Rashtram doesn't mean just only one country. Let the world stand strongly. In other words, a world can strong with confidence and strength, provided the people have the way to live. That is wellness. So let's get on to the business of my presentation, life, wellness and innovation, which is one of the goals, 17 goals, 17 pillars of the United Nations Sustainability Goals. And one thing is, like Balachandran alluded to, of all these 17, we are going to only take SD9, which talks about inclusive industrial growth and development, supporting domestic technology, but the development should be sustainable and inclusive. So, sabke saath, sabke visath, like Mananiya Prime Minister talks. So that is what it is. So why we should focus on innovation and how can we innovate? Okay. So I'm going to take 2 case studies. I've been given 30 minutes. I have a live demonstration to do because I didn't know this would be the question Mr. Ranjan would put to us. So how do you innovate? As I told you again and again, you keep your eyes and ears open. For young students there, I am very pleased to see that there are a lot of students participating. So how do you develop yourself like Ms. Shanti Murmu did? Nobody would have helped her. She stood on herself. If you look at her life story, very inspirational. So she would have watched people. She would have watched people like Dr. Abdul Kalam, Dr. Srimati Draupadi Murmuji, and all others surrounding herself. And she would have felt that I need to develop and give back to the society. That is what she's doing. So keep your eyes and ears open. Karna abhyam bhuri vishruvam. This is the Upanishad. So it says, keep your karna abhyam bhuri vishruvam. Hear well, keep your ears open, see widely, and interact with people. So I'm going to also interlude with a lot of Indic text because we are so rich. Every civilization is rich. So we have to stand on the shoulders of the giants. That's what Newton said when he invented the gravitational laws. People asked, how are you able to be successful? I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants. So we all stand on the shoulders of giants. So there's so much pearls of wisdom in the society, which I will try to introduce. Now the time clocks. So now the time clock starts for me. So give me extra time because I talked about the reason why we should do this. So I'm going to present you 2 case studies. So how do we all innovate? How do we all innovate to develop things? It need not be product. An innovation need not be a product. Innovation can be a system. An innovation can be an approach. Innovation is a way to do things. So many things. A new way to teach, a new way to interact, a new way to get ideas across. So many things you can do. So you see things, what is going on. 2 things are going on in the society. One, people are talking about economy. Jobs are not there. How do I make more money? The jobs, I finish my degree, I'm not getting a job. What do I do? So the economic situation, and never ever happened in the past 100 years after the Spanish flu. We went through 3 years. We are still in the midst of COVID-19. Nobody expected. Our generation never expected that this would happen. So COVID-19. So this is what I'm going to present. So I saw things, not only me, my students and my friends and colleagues, we all see things. And what we see now, this is what we talk, COVID-19. Kyun ha gaya? And how do I get out of this? So what do I do to get out of this? So that is the situation. So I'm going to say the situation lends itself to be an innovator. That's what it is. So what is life? So we never expected that we would have COVID-19. We had it. So whether it's President Biden or Prime Minister Modi ji, they cannot sit idle. They have to be creative. They have to be innovative, because they are given responsibility to protect people. India 1.3, America in several million. So they have to do something. So they are innovators. So every person, each Aam Aadmi is an innovator, because we go and expect something positive will happen tomorrow. Tomorrow is a beautiful day. So life is an uphill battle, but it's not pessimistic, because it is a journey, and that journey leads us to be what we are. But it is we who can make the path smooth to climb. We cannot sit idle. If you have to climb Everest, you got to climb it. But who is successful? The one who is logical, the one who takes precautions, the one who consults people, that one who goes and gets help from Sherpas. So those are the people. So life is an uphill battle. Otherwise, there is no interest. If everything is given to you, if a boy grows to be 50 years old in a one day, assume it will never happen, then what is the purpose of life? If you have to go through struggle, if you have to study competitive exam, you get a job, it's tough, but that makes life what it is. But it is we who can make the path smooth to climb. How do you make the path smooth? Road ko kaisa smooth karega? That is very important. So everybody does it. A student from a rural area in Odisha finds her or his way to come to a school and then successfully finish the school, get into Kalinga Institute and so on and so forth. So that itself is an innovation. Among the crowd of people, some people do it. We would like, this is sustainable development. We would like, whether it's government of India or government of United States or United Nations, they want sustainable growth that is spread across the masses. It's not important that only particular sections of the society grow. That is what it is. It is called, you got to have an inclusive growth. That is one of the goals which Professor Balachandran alluded to. But I'm going to, since students are there, I'm going to bring my presentation in such a way that they can comprehend. So please understand, everybody is an innovator, right? A mom is an innovator, a dad is an innovator. How do you make your daily breakfast? And how do you pack it? That's innovation. So we all do this. So why we do? Because the society wants us to do. Knowingly and unknowingly, we innovate. How do you pack? Sometimes we may not have an atta. One particular atta, gehu ka atta, ghar mein nahi hoga. Then what do? Mom mixes things, jugadu. She plays jugadu and mixes one flower with another flower. And in fact, goes to the neighbor and borrows. That's in itself innovation. How does she ask? She talks in a nice, pleasant way without getting the next door neighbor irritated. And then she gets the job done. So that is innovation. Innovation doesn't mean that you need to be a creator of a Tesla. You need to be a Google man or you need to be a Microsoft founder. That's good, but that's not alone innovation. Innovation is holistic. Everybody is an innovator. That is the positive message I want to spread. Okay. But how do you analyze? So to do that, a mother analyzes the situation. She looks at the budget. Okay, this month ka kharcha itna hoga, mom and dad. Then how do I manage? So first and foremost, you need to analyze the situation. There comes our text. There's a great poet and a philosopher in Tamil Nadu. I think Gauri Hardikar and Sunita Ranjan and Professor Balachandran, even Dr. Radhakrishnan Nair can understand, but I'm not going to go into all these things. But there was a great philosopher, take it from me. He said, if you are going to be a good doctor, it is not that you immediately treat a patient. You need to see what causes the problem, root cause. Noi nadi, noi mudal nadi, adithanikkum vai nadi vaipachayal. So there was a great poet called Thiruvalluvar. In Odisha, people know Jayadeva, who wrote Gita Govindam. It's a devotional Sringara Rasa Kavya. Similarly, there's in each region, that's the beauty of India, unity in diversity. There are so many classics. And one such classics in Tamil Nadu, from which I come, is called Thiruvalluvar. He says, for any problem, if you have to be an innovator, understand the situation. So that is what root cause. So I'm going to give you life skill, how life skill and the way of life matters if you are going to be an innovator. So I'm going to take two situations. First, I will handle COVID-19 that is still ongoing for 3 years. And then students who are maybe 20 years would understand. They may not, because they might be toddlers, but who are like me and Dr. Disha, but we all will know COVID-19 is a natural calamity. There was no control on it. Whereas 10, 11, 12 years back in 2010 in United States of America, a big oil, petroleum oil well in the Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of Mexico burst. When it burst, it spilled the largest oil, crude oil. Crude oil is toxic. It's carcinogen. It causes cancer, the petroleum oil. So that was a man-made disaster in a way. So those are the two incidents I would take. This is answering to what the president of the association put forward to discuss. how you innovate the situation. So I'm going to give you two situations and tell you how it changed life way and life skills, and then how people collectively used their expertise. I hope Dr. Radhakrishnan Nair would understand how I'm bringing the innovation and life, way of life and life skills together. So collectively, people use their expertise. One may be an engineering man, one may be a cancer specialist, and more importantly, you need to convey message in a good way to the people so that they do not panic. So it's communication skills. So all people collectively put their life skills. Life skill doesn't mean only education, book skills. Life skills, collective life skill in a holistic way and solve the problem. So I'm going to give you the answer. So what happened before vaccines came? People were struggling to find some remedy, and then there came a simple product called face mask. Hope you are able to see this. So then people, this is a chemical engineer or a material scientist or a cotton man, Karpasa, the Kapaska. Okay, this is a Kapas material. So before vaccines came into play, people collectively in the field, collectively put their brains together, looking at how people were suffering to come up with a solution. And there came the solution called face mask. Face mask was never heard of in general public. Aam aadmi ko face mask ko kuch bhi nahi malum tha. Right? So only people working in this, particularly surgeons, particularly people working in toxic environment, knew face mask. Right? N95, KN95, even PPE. PPE is a common name. Gaon mein every aadmi knows what PPE is. Personal protective equipment kit. This became a common terminology. Face mask is now a very popular terminology, like Google is, like WhatsApp is, Facebook is. Face mask, thanks to COVID, is a very popular technology. But we have been working in the field since 2000. So the material that is required to make face mask is known as a non-woven material. This is the one I show you, and we were the one early since 2000. After I finished my PhD in England and moved to United States, I started promoting and creating awareness. In fact, I even went to industrial chemistry department in Alagappa University. I have traveled nook and crannies of India, from Calcutta to Coimbatore to Mumbai to deep south in Kumarapalayam, in Satyamangalam, Karaikudi, you name it, Dindukal, all remote areas. Like Ms. Shanti Murmu is now doing a wonderful job of uplifting the masses. I have interacted with many rural institutes, particularly Avinashi Lingam University, which serves, like Kalinga University serves tribal. Avinashi Lingam's university serves women and rural people. And I have brought international people in the field to come to Avinashi Lingam University and talk about all this. So we had this technology, but the awareness was not there. So quickly, people like us collectively came together and showed that face masks can save lives. Even now, face masks are saving lives. And students from Nigeria, students from India, students from China came to our lab in United States and started working. And we proved that if prior to vaccine and even in the presence of vaccine availability, face masks serve as an effective protective medium. Effectiveness of face coverings in mitigating COVID pandemic, we proved from data that people who are wearing face masks, or when the government asked their populace to wear face masks, the death calamity was dramatically reduced. So we showed the results, field work, because Shanti Murmu would be happy that not only we do bench science or lab science, she's a chemist, so she could understand that. Not only that, we also did field studies. Based on the data presented by World Health Organization and other government bodies, we showed that when the face mask mandate was there, lives was saved. Many lives were saved. And we showed the data in United States, and many labs work. I'm not the only one. So that strengthened the government call, Modi ji's call or Biden ji's call, to show that please go wear face masks. So that is how it is. So the innovation doesn't come just like that. The environment. So it is not that you can teach to be an innovator, but you can provide circumstances. You can show the methodology to be an innovator. So people can walk you through how to be an innovator. And more importantly, what makes you an innovator is the need. What is the need? The need will be there, but you need to see. Karna abhyam bhuri visrum. You need to see, okay, vaccines are the solution. Everybody knows. But it takes time to develop vaccines. So what are the other things? So people have been talking. So people like us pick up. So karna abhyam bhuri vishruvam. So you keep your eyes and ears open. The environment provides. Environment here, the society, the way people live, the way the people interact, the way people need resources, the people need solution. Okay, COVID protection karne ke liye kya solution hai? Vaccine. Nobody questions that. But vaccine nahi mile to kya karenge? You have to find alternative solutions. So that is what it is. So we proved using data that if there were mandates, face mask requirement was there in a society, people's lives were saved. So this was the result in United States. Then I didn't leave it like that. So I came to India and then I interacted with the young undergrad students like you all. And I even started working to see, okay, this happened in United States, that we proved that if you wear a face mask like this, you are going to save lives. So is this the situation in India? Yes, we are now going to publish results with a young undergraduate students. That's very important. A young undergraduate student is doing research based on the need of the society. One, to save life, based on the need of the society, what people in the society wants, and then publish something that is very important. In future, if such pandemics come, like monkeypox and so on and so forth, come, can there be any countermeasures? Can there be any remedy? It need not be just medicine. What are non-medicinal countermeasures? So a young undergraduate student from Bangalore worked with me. He's not enrolled in Texas Tech University or here. I just interact. So this is what it is. So life skill. So I am kind of a person. It didn't happen to me over time. I am 50 years old. So it took time. So I keep interacting with people. I would have never encountered Dr. Radhakrishnan Nair, but for some kind of interaction I had with one of his colleagues. And so see, it's destiny that I come to know a person who is contributing this much. So like that with Gauri Hardikar and Professor Balachandran and so on. So life opens up if you keep your heart open. Ayam ganana, ayam neti, iti laguchetasam udhara charitanam tu vasudha yeva kutumpakam. Professor Balachandran only said those two words, but he gave me a lead. So you should not bottle yourself. You should not say, I'm only going to work for the welfare of Odisha. I'm going to work for the welfare of the entire India. I'm going to work for the welfare of the entire globe. Udara charitanam tu vasudha yeva kutumpakam. So we did not only stop with the United States. We looked at the problems in India, and then we said, okay, did the use of face mask in India help to protect people? Yes. We showed that from January 2022 to May 2022, from January 1 to March 31st, Government of India had mandate on face masks. Then the number of cases came down. So when the number of cases came down, Government of India relaxed the norm. But in April, suddenly by the end of April, again people started getting COVID. So we analyzed the result and showed, look, in the month of April, from April 1 to April 26, people did not wear masks. So that's lifestyle, right? People did not wear masks for 26 days. When we thought that we had COVID under control, it gone. So we proved not only in the United States, but now we are going to show and publish the results with a young undergraduate student. That's very important. So why did he get involved? He saw what's going on. And then he contacted me, rather I contacted him because we were well published in this field. If you Google me, you will know. Then he came and interacted. That's also way of life. Sunita Ranjan asked the question, how do you innovate? You innovate, but one thing is an innovator is prone to risk. You know, you will fall down, but it is not the way how many times you fall down. The more important for an innovator or every man and a woman in life is how do you get up? Okay, I fall down, but I should not just lie down. You got to utna padega, quickly utna padega. That is innovation. So he came and approached, and I approached him, and we collectively worked together. And again, we showed that life teaches you. So life, the way of life teaches you. And it also shows a life skill. Life skill doesn't mean that you should only excel in chemistry. You should only excel in biology. You may be good chemist. You may be a good doctor. but you need to communicate and you need to outreach. In other words, you have to have field interaction. And I think that are the things which the Indian Association of Life Skill Educator will do. You can be a great doctor, you can be a great commerce man, but how do you put that knowledge into use, right? Krinvanto Viswamaryam. That knowledge has to be put into the goodness of the world. Viswamaryam. Indram Vardhanto Apturaha Krinvanto Vishwamaryam. The text Rigveda says, you got to use your knowledge. Krinvanto Vishwamaryam. But then it says, don't be miser. Don't be stingy in giving the knowledge. So it didn't stop like that. That's the beauty of the classic Indic text. That's a way of life, life skill. Okay, you give your knowledge. The more and more and more you give your knowledge, you are only going to grow, unlike the wealth. If you keep on giving the wealth, unless you replenish it, oh, kharcha hoga. But knowledge is not like that. It is like sharpening your razor. It keeps blade gets sharpened if you keep on sharpening it. Similarly, knowledge gets sharpened if you give. Then if you say the Veda scolds people, that is life skill. You got to give the knowledge, but how much you have to give? Don't be a miser in giving the knowledge. Whether it is a chemistry knowledge or biology knowledge or commerce knowledge or medical knowledge, don't be a miser. That is one life skill lesson. Innovators will be, you don't have to give your secret, but you got to help others grow. It is a tall order, but I'm just throwing it. So you got to do this. So then it says, Aphagnanto aravnaha. Veda says, Indram vardhanto apturaha. Let's omit that. Then the two phrases. Krinvanto vishwamaryam. You all understand that. Krinvanto vishwamaryam. Aryam means shreshtam. Great. Krinvantaha. Kriya karo. Kuru. Do something. Karo something. Kuch karo. Come on. Then it says, this is a Vedic language text. Aphagnanto aravnaha. If people don't give anything, you will be doomed. Aphagnaha. Doom. Aravnaha means stingy, miser. If you are a miser in giving knowledge, you will be doomed. Veda curses. That's very important. Give the knowledge, free flow, like Murmus do. Give the knowledge what God gave you. Give the knowledge what the society gave you. So that was the situation. So when we started this work, what was the situation? The situation was, world was panicky. People didn't know. Either people, kya kare? How do I solve? How do we protect people? Vaccines are there, but then coding has to come. China released it only after some time, only because they had the original virus, right? Right? It was originally spreading there, and then other countries took it. Okay. So until that time, the world was panicking. Even this face mask, people took it for granted. It was not available. How do we do? So that's what we spread, and we came up with many technology. The exact technology, what we came, you know, how did we become innovator in this? The society gave us a problem. That's very important. The society needed a solution. The society gave us a problem. Material scientists like us were coming up with the face mask. Doctors and biomedical scientists were coming up with vaccines such as BioNTech and Pfizer. So we started coming up with different types of face masks, and people started wearing. This is made out of cotton. This is made out of cotton. This is made out of synthetic material. We put these two together, so it only gives you better fit and so much and so forth. So that is one solution. So to answer one solution, one problem, keep your eyes and ears open. Skill, the lives. Then if you cannot solve your problem, right? Medical scientists cannot alone solve the problem. You need to have a molecular biologist. You need to understand the genetic code. You need to have a protein scientist. You need to synthesize the protein because it is a protein, right? So I'm not going to go too much into science. So the society had a problem which was causing a lot of death. So people have to collectively utilize their skills and then interact with government to give the vaccine at a cheaper rate. So commerce people have to do their job. A lot of legal issues were there. Then United Nations stepped in, and then all sorts of things. That is what it is. A skill is not only a scientist, not only being a good administrator, it also requires good communication. So journalists, scientists, policy maker, government babus, everybody collectively came. This is an exact example of being an innovator. Not many times that situation arises, but when situation arises, you have to step up. You have to step up and then come up with solution. If you cannot do, try to bring people to work together. That's very important. How do you uplift a rural society? People who have already gotten a leg up have to give their time, volunteer. So that is inclusive development. So innovation arises if there is a problem, society needs, look, if you can't solve your problem, go get help. This Vidura says in Vidura Niti, Ekaswatu na bhunjita dasabhisaga. You should not only reap the benefit on your own, share as much as you can. It doesn't mean that you should enjoy your benefit or profit, you do, but try to share. Ekaswatu na bhunjita. Vidura was a great knowledge person, right? In Mahabharata, we know. So one example I showed you. Now I'm going to quickly show you. So similarly, if you go flashback 10 years back, 12 years back, as I told you, in Atlantic Ocean, British Petroleum, one of the big giants in the oil, like Indian Oil Corporation, they had a big oil well in the middle of the ocean. It's onshore and offshore. You will know this. This is basically offshore, in the shore, in the sea. So it is offshore, big well that bursts. Maybe some fault. Okay. Then it spilled the largest oil spill the world has seen. 4.2 million barrels of crude oil. If people inhale crude oil, it will create mutagenesis in the cell. Biologists would know, and that mutagenesis results in cancer. So people will die. Cancer will not happen immediately. Down the road, 20 years down the road, the cells mutate. And then people were trying to find solution. Chemists were working, material scientists were working. So there again, like COVID created an opportunity. It was a disaster. But you look disaster towards positive solution. That is innovation. That is life skill. You can't keep on saying that, okay, I lost money in the trade. Whether I go sink or I take this as a challenge and come out successful. Every man who has been successful has gone through difficulty. Life is not a bed of roses. Life is not a bed of roses, which Sukha Brahma in Bhagavata, people in Odisha would know, like it talks about the Leela of Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna. So the Sukha Brahma in Bhagavat says, Kalau Dukha Nide Rajanne. This is an interaction between Parikshit Raja and Sukha. It's beautiful text, about 12 volumes. So it says, Kali, this world is full of problem, but don't get pessimistic. Don't get stuck. Okay, what do I do? Take it as a challenge. Take it as an opportunity to go. That is very important. As a one life skill lesson is challenges will be an opportunity. I showed you how COVID presented challenges. Look today, in 3 years, it's tough, but collectively we've overcome it. What if we just sat, if nations sat and they didn't come up with vaccine? Very few would have been left. But we didn't do that. Okay, it's unfortunate that several millions died, but at least we saved billions and billions. So that's the way to look at it. Each side, each coin has two sides. We always look at the positive side. Now I'm going to take this. So this is the world's largest spill, 4.2 million barrels of crude oil, which causes carcinogen spill in the world. People were looking for a solution, and that is what we did. So what we did, we took a sustainable solution. This is what Professor Balachandran alluded to. Sustainable industrial development for the benefit of the society, which should be inclusive. So it is not that if I invent something only in America, it should not be used. I'm going to show you a story where the invention happened by me in our lab. But again, Professor Balachandran brought the point that it should be domestic technology development. So United States and India collaborated. I gave this technology. What I see you, are you seeing this wipe I'm showing you? This material, this is made out of a sustainable material. This will instantaneously soak up immediately. Patapat wo oil ko soak karega. So this technology was developed in United States, but it is manufactured in India. Beautiful. I never thought that Indian Association of Life Skill Educator would ask me to talk about innovation, sustainability, life skills. So this is it. So there was a requirement. People use their skills on the ground, immediately they put their minds together, and I interacted with people in India to make it. So this is domestic technology development in India. Assume that this is, are you seeing my demonstration? So assume that this is the ocean. Dr. Disha Bhatt, are you seeing my my demonstration here?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, so now watch this. Now watch this. Assume that this is Atlantic Ocean or Indian Ocean. Okay, now, so this problem is, the first problem COVID I showed you was human health. This is environment and human health. And assume that there is oil spill. So you are seeing the oil, right? Now, like ocean, I am disturbing this. So the oil comes and stays on the top. I need to only remove the oil because, and then separate the oil from the seawater. This is the invention. How did this invention come? To answer Sunita Ranjan, invention came because there was a problem. Invention came and the solution happened because of life skills capability, interacting quickly with people across the continent. India is in Asia, United States in North America. So that is a life skill. How do you collectively put people together? How do you convey the problem? How do you find solution? Okay, so that is life skill. So then I'm putting this material. I am not doing any magic. In front of your eyes, you can see the material is not soaking. Instantaneously, when I take this material, you see it is clear. It has picked up the oil. You can see no oil left. And all oil has gone in this wipe. Are you seeing this? So how did this innovation come? The other side is dry and clean. All oil has been picked up. And I put it again. It will only, even I disturb it, it will only take the oil. You see how clean it is? In front of your eyes, seeing is believing. That's why I took time to do the demonstration. Actually, I brought the sea, I brought the problem before you. Karnabhyam bhuri visruvam. See? That is innovation. Right? So how does innovation come? Innovation comes either by you create something and you want to put it to the world. That is pushing. Innovation arises to find solution to a problem. If that problem is affecting human health and environment, a lot of people, and this is what it is. This is the technology which we invented, but we collaborate with a company in South India, and this is made domestically in India. So the idea came from United States. Manufacturing is happening in India. That is international collaboration, discussion among people with no boundaries. That is a life skill. That involves negotiations. That involves thinking legal issues. That involves trade. Balachandran know this, all this. So that is a life skill. So you don't need to just be a scientist, and scientist alone cannot commercialize a product. He needs the support of a society. What did I say? You need a village. So there again, Veda comes to rescue. Veda comes to rescue. So you got to go and gather knowledge from everywhere. Ano Badra Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. Ano Badra. Let good thoughts, let noble ideas come from anywhere in the world. Ano Badra Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. From any parts of the world. As long as they are noble thoughts and noble deed, that's a life skill. You see, Indian text provides so much. I brought science before you. Everywhere I interluded with Indic text, whether it is a Tamil Kural or Veda or Gita Govinda, whatever it is. So, see things. So, this technology, and then we proved that this is a thermal nuclear power plant in India. We proved that they have to keep the transformers in oil, cooling oil. When it spills, imagine when a thermal power plant spills and there is a chance of explosion, the entire city will burst. This is in near Chennai. We showed that we use the technology. It is clean. What I showed you was a demonstration. I showed you actual field work, like Miss Murmu is doing, Shanti Murmusi, that is what it is. So sustainable development, inclusive development cannot happen at only one place. You need to put your life skills together. You need to interact with people. You need to exchange ideas. That needs unique human skill sets. So scientists need people like Dr. Radhakrishnan Nair, like Gauri Hardikar. Probably I should become a member of your society. You should invite me probably as an honorary member, whatever it is, so that we can collectively work and take our ideas for the benefit of the world. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Sarve mangalam bhavantu. Mangalani santu. Shubham. With that, I'm indeed grateful that life skill people have come and interacted with scientists. Normally, they think that I'm going to only interact with psychologists and psychiatrists and things. No, though there's a lot of things we can do, and these forums will help, and I'll be very happy to interact in much more closer terms with the Indian Association of Life Skills and indeed with Kalinga Institute, because I like working for the upliftment of minorities and are underrepresented, and I'm very thrilled that Ms. Shanti Marmu could participate, and if chance permits, we will get to interact more. And I wish the very best for all the students. Do well, excel in studies, but try to give. You don't have to be a millionaire to give back to the society. Every little things help. Because I'll give you an example. There is a ladder. How do you climb a ladder? Maybe you can climb 2 steps at a time, but you cannot climb 10 steps at a time. You got to be a Maruti, Hanuman to do it. So you got to climb each step of the ladder, right? Ek step to pehle chalna padega. So likewise, we all make our little steps. If collectively everybody puts steps together, the whole world journey will be a better one. Shubham, Mangalam Bhavatu. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, excellent, sir. Very excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
I hope I conveyed
Yes, sir. Yes,
what
sir.
you asked for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. More than that.
You can still see, I didn't do any magic for students. Look. See, it is not sinking. Imagine if you take a towel and put it in water, it will sink, but it is not sinking. That is science. Okay. Science has its positive, mostly positive. Okay.